And ESPN put out their power rankings, AJ. I'd like to see your reactions alongside me here. Chicago Bears are not given a lot of respect for being a 3-0 team, by the way. They're ranked 14th overall, and I would assume that everybody that watches the NFL would say, yeah, that's probably about where they should be. Even though they're 3-0, Nick Foles came in and had a big comeback win. They are currently ranked at 14. Number 1, you got the Kansas City Chiefs. 2, Baltimore Ravens. 3, the Ospreys. And 4, the Green Bay Packers. At 5, you have the Buffalo Bills. How do you feel about the top 5 there, AJ?
I think it's all right. I would, I don't know. Would you put Green Bay above Baltimore right now?
Well, if you only judge Baltimore for how they played against the best team in football, the Kansas City Chiefs, I think that would be a little bit difficult. I think the top 5 there, all right, I'll say it. The top 5, I almost went with the top 4, but I don't believe that is fair to the Bills Mafia. I believe those top 5 are 2 to 5. They're pretty interchangeable right behind the Kansas City Chiefs. We don't know how that's going to play off. It all depends on whose defense shows up, what quarterback can play at the right time. Josh Allen obviously having an incredible year as compared to his years in the past. Aaron Rodgers, best quarterback in football right now. Russell Wilson's playing very good football. And obviously Lamar Jackson had an off night the other night. They kind of went away from the run. They need to stick with that, I think, because that's what makes them very, very special. Then you have at 6 the Titans, who are battling COVID. Then the Pittsburgh Steelers at 7. That's a Monday Night Football game. Los Angeles Rams at 8. Patriots 9. Saints at 10. That's the top 10 right there. How do you feel about 5 through 10, AJ Hawk?
So the Steelers are another team, and maybe I'm just not in that Pittsburgh bubble like you guys, that you guys travel with it. Does it feel like they're flying under the radar?
Yes.
For what they've done early this season?
Yes, and Mike Greenberg has been banging the drum very hard that everybody talks about the Chiefs and the Ravens. The Pittsburgh Steelers deserve to be talked about because last year, the same defense that they have right now almost carried them to a playoff berth. And we are not in a league anymore where the defense can just carry a team to the playoffs. I guess people can say that the Patriots did that last year with their special teams and defense. They still had Tom Brady at quarterback. Last year, the Steelers, with no offense, basically, that defense almost got them. Same defense is there. Now you have a healthy Juju, healthy James Conner, and a healthy Ben Roethlisberger. I think it is a conversation piece for like, hey, the Steelers are a legit team this year. I think them sitting at 7, Steelers fans are probably pissed off. I'd assume Tomlin doesn't even know that they're at 7th, but they probably deserve to be a little bit higher if I had to guess.
They do, and if you're a Steelers fan or you're a fan of any of these teams and you're pissed off about where you're ranked, just know something, that none of this matters and nobody knows anything.
Yeah,
like, these are just to talk about.
Yeah, take it. It's strictly for shows like this one to have something to react to, because on Wednesdays there's nothing to talk about. So do not get your emotions or panties in a bunch. This does not mean a damn thing.
But if you're in New York, think about switching teams and trying to find a new team to root for, because 31-32 is pretty tough.
Jets and Giants are 31-32. Obviously, Jets being the worst team. Then the Bengals there, who almost lost their quarterback's head this past week whenever they tied the Philadelphia Eagles. Panthers are at 29. I'd assume Matt Rule did not expect that when he decided to kick Cam Newton out of town and sign Teddy Bridgewater. That's a wild look for them. Christian McCaffrey's hurt. Obviously, the power rankers saw that as quite a detriment to the squad.
A big win this week.
Yeah, they did. I guess. I know it's 28 and 29 we're arguing over. I would put them above the Broncos right now.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so, too. The Broncos playing Thursday night. They got a guy named Ripien playing. And then 27, you have the Jacksonville Jaguars. They got a big win over the Colts early, but it feels like they're potentially finding their water, which is at the bottom of the division. Atlanta Falcons at 26. That team could be undefeated right now, but instead they're the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what. Ty, are you scared for this Falcons-Packers matchup? Because if the Falcons could find a way to stumble into a win, it would turn their season around?
No, I mean, I just think that...
Oh, I thought you just said you were nervous about it.
Well, no, I am, but it's because historically the Falcons throw all over the Packers. Julio Jones, I don't know if he's going to play or not, but, you just hope the Falcons can score a lot of points. Their defense is obviously fucking trash, but I don't know. You just worry that the Packers have to play another perfect game because they're going to have to score a lot of points to win.
Dan Quinn is definitely on a hot seat, too. So how will his players respond? And then let's go to the middle of the pack there. The 49ers at 11. Their entire team was hurt, and the fourth stringers beat the Giants by 27 points. That has to feel good if you're a Niners fan for your depth going forward. Tampa Bay Gronkaneers are at 12. Arizona Cardinals, who had a bad game, and it felt like Kyler Murray was not the same Kyler Murray we saw the first couple weeks. Well, that Kyler Murray who shows up, doesn't show up, shows up. doesn't show up, will that continue? Or is this just one little blimp and he's back to playing MVP-style NFL football? Who knows? Chicago Bears right there at 14 at undefeated 14 seed. 15, the Raiders. 16, the Colts. Cowboys at 17. Cleveland Brownies at 18. They could potentially turn the corner. 19, the Chargers. 20, Texans. Vikings, Eagles, Lions, Dolphins, Washington. It rounds out the rest of the list. Very intriguing here. None of this means a damn thing because teams can get hot at different times, but it sure does feel like there's about 5 to 6 teams that are already dead, and that's really all that matters here.
It does. I would even drop the Vikings down a little bit. They're at 21. Wouldn't you drop them down to 24, 25? Mm-hmm.
They have not looked great, but they could potentially open it up. They looked good in like the first half of this game this past weekend.
They've looked good in spurts. Yeah, you're right. But for the most part, like there's been times in every game that they played where I'm like, man, this team. I always think the same thing too, though. Oh, they can turn around. Mike Zimmer, I have a ton of respect for him. And I just the way they look at times is just so out of sorts. Like I don't know, none of them are on the same page. It just looks weird. It looks bad.
Well, let's talk about the Texans then, who are at 20. They've had to face, if you listen to the people that are talking about the Steelers being top of the class of the AFC, they've had to face the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Steelers their first 3 games. They're 0-3, obviously. That is a tough task to come out of the gates with while you're still trying to figure out your team. And just like last year, the Texans towards the end got hot. So maybe they make a big jump towards the middle or the end of the year. But that's a team that looks like they've lost their way. But is that because they played incredible competition here to start the entire season?
Yeah, we don't know. That's what makes it so intriguing. I think we don't really know what any team is. I mean, we kind of know who the Chiefs are. We know how the Packers are playing, and the top 5 or so, we kind of know who they are. But everyone else, you don't really know. Like you don't know how good you always go into the. I always love when they release the schedule and people rank who has the toughest schedules, and they do all that. Like, oh, people will ask me through the years, man. Even when I was on the team, have you? When you look at the schedule, man, you guys have the 4th hardest schedule in the league. Is that a tough thing to overcome? And I'm like, I have no clue what that means. I've never thought about how our schedule is. I know our division, who we play, and who do we play this year? Oh, the AFC West. Okay, then we'll go play them. Like, you don't sit there and worry about your opponents.
By the way, weakest schedule compared to what? Last year's team? Because this team is very different than last year's team. That happens everywhere. That's why what the Chiefs were able to do, keeping everybody around, is so damn impressive, because the parity of the NFL is a real thing. We were 2-14, then we made a run and went into the playoffs the next year with Andrew Luck. You never know who's going to get hot, or the big important thing, especially this year, who's going to stay healthy. Who's going to be able to stay healthy? That is the ultimate X factor there.